The toughest moment for me on Everest wasn't related to physical hardship as such, but it was the uncertainty for weeks on end whether we would actually get a summit window or not.
In fact, me, Greg and Matthew Sherry, after 2 weeks, we couldn't take it anymore. And we climbed back again. We did the acclimatization rotation for another time. We climbed to 7.5, went down to 7, slept at 7, went down to 6.4 and slept at 6.4.
I think the toughest one was approaching Camp 1. We were on the go for practically a number of days by then. We had reached the summit and on our way down. It was during a snow blizzard.
Going up, I found less difficult than actually coming down. Getting off the summit was a much harder process for me to deal with, because you see the terrain beneath you, because it was daylight by the time we were descending the mountain, and it's a reminder of how dangerous the whole situation can be.
People think that you experience shortness of breath on the mountain, and that's very true in most cases. Okay, there is a very low level of oxygen, and even though the body does acclimatize, any degree of exercise, any degree of exertion, and initially even sitting at rest, you feel out of breath. However, higher up on the mountain, something kicks in, and that's hypoxia, and that is lowering of the oxygen level in the blood.
In my case, when I was around 80 vertical meters short of the summit, our leader, and he's a mountain medic, told me to go back down. It was time for me to go back down because I was getting the first symptoms of cerebral edema, which is a type of altitude sickness.
The challenges were many. I mean, where it comes to the terrain itself, lack of sleep, the tiredness, the general fatigue, lack of oxygen at higher altitudes.
Funnily enough, there's a certain sense of apathy that settles in when you're low on oxygen. It's that feeling of just sitting down and actually having a nap as well while you're trying to descend.
Matt mentioned the hallucinations. I didn't have any hallucinations. However, I did feel obviously the lack of oxygen is something that you're dealing with all the time.
The beauty of climbing from the north side is that you actually get to see Everest in all its glory, in all its magnificence. You see the whole route as you approach base camp. So you're still miles away and you actually see the full mountain. And that's quite uncommon. Even from the south side, when you climb from the south, you only get to see the Everest from Camp 2.
Reaching the summit was genuinely fun. We were relatively fresh. We had a good supply of oxygen, and the climbing was fun. You look at the sunrise, you look at the peaks all surrounding the whole Himalayan range, and you really appreciate of what a special place you'll be in at the moment.
Going down till I arrived at base camp, it was okay because I'm on the move and I was going back to base. But then obviously the morning after and the days after, I was thinking I could have made it, and the last few meters. But now in hindsight, I said I know it was the right decision.
Network coverage was satisfactory. We had limited resources, but thanks to Vodafone, we were able to communicate with our families and friends back home.
We got stuck on the way down because of the weather, because of the very high winds. Alone without any oxygen, without any food, without any water, any fuel to actually melt ice. We managed to communicate with the base camp by actually sending a message home. So we had no radio communication with base camp, but because we were very high up on the mountain, we managed to get some coverage. And I actually sent an email, an email home, and that was relayed eventually to the head office in Kathmandu, and the Kathmandu office contacted base camp, and those people at base camp contacted ABC.
Having a reliable network helps a lot because it helped us a lot in keeping in touch with our family and relatives and relating information to our network of people who are closest to us, as well as our supporting sponsors such as Vodafone.